It's a product.
So, how y'all doing on YouTube? How y'all doing on Apple Podcasts, Google, and Spotify? We have ourselves a very special guest. So, we told y'all in a couple of posts that, like a little while ago, I think about like a week or two ago now, that we were doing a radio show with a good friend of ours by the name of Shinar S. And what we decided to do was, because we could do the exact collaboration on Radio Indie, we decided why not invite her on our show. So, Ms. Shinar, tell people a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shinar Martin. I am a radio host, personnel. I have my own podcast called Plus Size Talk with Shinar, centered around everything talking about plus size. I'm a plus size model and a confidence coach. So everything that I do is basically centered around loving the true you. So yeah,
That's beautiful.
That is.
And we did. What would you say? We told you guys on a couple episodes ago that we did do an episode of Plus Size Talk with Shinar, and we basically talked about like how we met, and just a little bit about like our journey as a married couple. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about some of the stuff that we talked about on the show today, but we touched on like confidence as far as being a plus size woman. We touched on insecurities, I guess maybe not common insecurities, but insecurities that plus size women that we could have, whether being in relationships or insecurities of what's going on around us compared to being in a relationship, like feeling pressure to sometimes be in relationships because you got you got friends and your girlfriends and stuff are in relationships or whatever, and the stress of that. We talked about a lot of things on the show.
We talked about quite a bit, and if y'all haven't seen it, I definitely suggest that y'all go back and either listen to it on Radio Wave or y'all go and check it out on Facebook. But again, I try to make sure that I repost it. And the days that I don't, I try to make sure that at least somebody's aware of what happened that day, because I felt like the conversation we had was very important. I felt like that show was
the topic was loving a plus size woman. So yeah.
I felt like it was very important because just I wouldn't say stigma, but I felt like people I feel like plus size women, some feel, like she said, like the confidence goes down, like they feel like they can't be loved, and Lord knows that ain't the truth at all. Some of the things that we're gonna talk about today is Quaden Boyle's 9 or 18. Because we need to know. Also, Steven Spielberg's daughter is doing porn. And then we're going to do a top 5. Not a top 5, I'm sorry. We're going to do a one gotta go. We said top 5s for the drunk ass because we crazy as fuck. But the one gotta go, we're going to do one gotta go pies. So think about some pies. We got some. But, kind of think about what you want to go with the one gotta go. But this is the Wei'S World Podcast. Episode 5, episode 5, and we'll be right back with you. And we're back after that intro. So, got a couple of questions here. I haven't done an interview in a while, so I might be kind of rusty. But I got a couple of questions here that I do want to ask, and then we're also going to touch and kind of talk about what we discussed on Plus Size Talk. So the first thing that I do want to ask is, how long have you been wanting to get into broadcasting?
I feel like that, my entire life has been broadcasting. I sing, so it's I'm always singing, I'm always performing, and later in life, I guess I would say I don't know.
A while.
Yeah, I've always wanted in my, TV show, and recently, like a couple years ago, one of my own podcasts. So yeah, so it just seems like
So what made you want to so a part, I guess, an aid to that question is what made you want to start a podcast?
You want me to be honest?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Again, it's okay.
So like, shout out to the Breakfast Club. Like, I love listening to them. I love Charlamagne the God. I ain't gonna lie, I do, and like hearing them and just seeing how like a podcast could go. You can create whatever you want on your podcast. It's a radio listening station. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can have guests on there. You can talk about whatever you want to. I love freedom of speech. So, like, you can say whatever you want to. So, when you have your own podcast show, you can do and say whatever you want to. There are no rules. So, like, yeah.
That's the same reason why I wanted to start this. Like you've heard some of the takes and some of the shit that I done said on here. Again, I feel the same way. I feel like the most, something that Dave Chappelle said when it came to comedy that I saw like on Facebook, I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday. He said that he was like, not exactly what people say when it comes to comedy, but he was like, the art form, I would defend to my last breath. I would defend the art form that is comedy, the freedom of speech that comes with doing comedy. Because again, when it comes to people doing jokes, like there's been a lot of people over 2019 and even the beginning of 2020 that's been said some outrageous shit in like a joke. And
he is right one of those people.
Yeah, definitely one of those people. Sticks and stones. We touched on that.
People have got like a lot more sensitive.
A lot more sensitive. We in the PC culture.
No one wants to laugh anymore.
Everybody wants to be offended.
We're in the PC culture, and that's the problem. Like, everybody is so worried about what the next person gonna think of, what the next person gonna say about what they had to say, instead of just being able to truly express yourself.
Oh yes. Oh gosh, that's so good.
Again, so this is all off the top. Again, like I said, I'm very, very rusty, so please excuse me. The next question I do want to ask you though is, how do you perceive how can I say this? How do you perceive what people think when they say loving a plus size woman? Like what's your thoughts about that subject?
Where's the question a little bit?
I'm trying to.
I'm trying to. Look at you.
I'm trying to. That's why I said I'm rusty. I'm trying to work it differently. Okay, so as a matter of fact, let me say it like this. So as a plus size woman, do you feel that there are any stigmas or myths when it comes to loving a plus size woman?
Yes.
Such as? Or like...
We do not stink.
I wasn't expecting that. But I guess that's a good one, because I'm not gonna lie, I have heard that. I have.
We're not always eating. Like, I know I was just eating over there. But I'm saying, like, but I'm saying, like, it's not like a,
always.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm hungry. Dang, you just ate. No, it's like, we all don't have low self-esteem.
Actually,
definitely.
We all don't like to wear maxi dresses. Lord knows I cannot stand a damn maxi dress.
Okay, I don't know what it means. So please explain that to me.
Just a pullover, yes. Okay. Just a dang on pullover.
Okay.
We can wear heels. Like, it's so many. Like, I love my heels. Like, I don't know. Should you want to add? Sure, because it's so many.
Right. That you're like, just because you're plus size does not mean that you're not athletic. Does not mean you're not athletic. Like, it doesn't mean that you're not like, you don't work out, or you know, like there are fit plus size people. There are several, like there are hundreds. You know, like Ashley Graham, like she's one of my favorite models. Takara from America's Next Top Model. You know, like just because you're plus size does not mean that you are not working out. Does not mean you're lazy, or you know,
just because you're plus size does not mean you're unhealthy.
Exactly, that too.
Like
you're not diabetic, you don't have high blood pressure. Like, yeah, of course there's probably people that do, but I mean there's thin people that have these issues as well.
Of health issues.
Exactly. So it's not, you know.
So another question is, again, with your podcast being called Plus Size Talk, what made you feel like it was important for that to, because you said like that's like your central topic, what you talk about. What made you feel like that was something that, you know,
needed attention?
Yeah, needed attention.
So, me being a plus size woman myself, being younger, and I've talked about this before on my podcast, but being younger, we had people to look up to like Queen Latifah, or goodness, what is her name? I can't believe I'm doing this.
What we doing?
I play Gloria. When is Exhale?
Loretta Devine.
Monique.
Yeah.
By the way, Loretta Devine will play my mother in the story about my life.
Yes, I love her.
She will play my mother.
Love her. But these are the people that, you know what I'm saying, when you was a little thicker on the side, you know, these are the people you had to look up to. And they always had them like in oversized t-shirts, which, you know, say, okay, of course, back in that day, you know,
right,
that was the style or whatever a little bit, but no plus size woman was looked at like a sex symbol or whatever. And I just felt like that there needed to be elaboration on the plus size community. So what better way to have a plus size podcast with a plus size woman talking about plus size things to basically educate the world on the plus size community.
You better let them know.
So.
What are some of the things that you've talked about for people that haven't seen your show?
Oh my God, I've talked about so much. Oh gosh. I've talked about having sex with a plus size woman. That got a little heated. I was sweating. I've talked about so much. Oh my gosh. I wish I had my book with me. It's in the car.
What would you say is like your top two shows and the topics?
Being confident and being plus size, of course. And I don't know, I've talked about so much.
The first,
I have, I'm not gonna lie.
The first broadcast I called of hers was called like Man's Mentalities.
God.
And that one was
a man's perspective.
A man's perspective. And that one was heated. I was like, wait. Like when I tuned in, I had to tune out because I had to work on something. But when I like tuned back in, the next thing I caught was people was yelling, like, cause she had like two guys on there, and they was like yelling. And I'm like, wait, like I saw in the comments like, oh, he about to fight. I'm like, wait, who about to swing? Like, who about to swing right now? Like, what's going on? What did I just step back into? Like, what am I watching right now?
Oh gosh, it definitely gets heated on my show because you guys, you know what I'm saying. Hopefully, you guys from W.a.v.E podcast, you guys tune into my podcast. I have no filter. I am very blunt. I'm very straightforward, and I'm going to say whatever I want to.
Oh, trust me.
That is the thing about freedom of speech. I love it. So anything goes, and anything could be said. You know what I'm saying? Just not cuss words. I don't like that. But you know, other than that, you know, hey, you have the right to have your opinion, the way that you think. I am a person. I can't tell you how to think. I can't speak for you. So since I can't speak for you, I'm going to speak for me. So isn't that great? Okay.
And again, this is why another reason why I wanted her to be on this show so much was because that's the idea around what I put in Wei'S world, like free speech, saying what you want. Again, like I've said, like y'all can go back, and I'm pretty sure those that have listened this entire time have heard me say some very off the wall type shit. I've said some very off the wall like stuff, and sometimes I done had to retract myself. Like, okay, I didn't mean to go that far, or I didn't mean to just say all that. I apologize, but for the most part, what you get off the cuff from me is literally how I feel about a situation. But damn it, and I had another question. It was bouncing off of what you just asked.
Well, I have one.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Shinar, you basically consider yourself an entrepreneur.
Yes.
How do you like manifest your make that reality? Like, what if you have any tips on manifesting your dreams and making, you know, like how did you make all this possible?
Just do it. Just do it. Jeez Louise. It was back in 1970. I'm just playing. I was born in 1989, so don't y'all try it. Oh guys, what year was it? It was, I think it was 2017, 2016, 2017, somewhere around there. But before then, I kept on saying, oh, I'm gonna come up with the first body positivity seminar. I just kept saying it, and then like I just started working on it. I got who I wanted to be my speakers. I reached out to people, reached out to where I wanted the building. You know what I'm saying? And it happened. And I am a person that, I'm going somewhere with this. I know I'm talking a lot. I'm a person that like will say, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. But as I'm saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, oh, please wait, you'll see, don't sleep on me, I'm going to do this. I'm actually doing it, you know. People will talk a lot and say what they're going to do without the actions, and then they don't get any results. Can't have any results without action.
Thanks.
So, you know, there's nothing wrong with manifesting and speaking life into a situation, but faith without works are dead. You have to work, you have to put it into works, you have to put it into action, and just do, you know. Like I was saying to you, I have no idea in hell what the hell I'm doing and trying to get my website together. But when I tell you this weekend, I started it. You know, it's okay to ask questions if you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I started asking questions and shoot, got my laptop out, and hey, my website will be done in those first free trial 14 days. And after that, I'm going to pay for it. But baby, the 14 days, you think I'm not going to work on it every day?
Mm-hmm.
It's getting done. You know what I'm saying? So you guys, you know what I'm saying? All it is taking that first step. That's it. That's it. And then the next step will come. And
Right.
it's just like baby steps. When they learn how to walk, they pull up on the countertop, or not the countertop. Lord, don't pull up on the countertop, but they pull up on the end table, and
Right.
then they want to get away from the end table. They make that step, and they make another step. Oh, they're walking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. So yes, you have to do.
I'm saying nothing starts out on fire. Like I'm saying, it's a rare occasion when something just comes out the
Trial
gate.
Trial and error. But continue to keep going.
And keep pushing.
Keep pushing. Never give up.
Yeah, it's good to see that, because I feel like there's somebody out there that needs to know. And for the longest that was me. So I mean, now that I'm kind of in that foot in the door position where I'm like stepping out, I'm like, okay, this is where I'm like teetering out here, you know, like I'm trying to make this photography thing my full-time gig.
Okay,
This right here.
Right.
This right here is what I'm trying to make my full-time gig. Again, for y'all on YouTube that again are just fresh eyes to the Wei'S World podcast, I've been doing this podcast since August 19th of 2019. Every episode, every video, everything is completely done in-house by either my hands or my wife's hands. Everything is completely done here. Everything you see on Facebook, Instagram, it don't matter. Everything is done here because we know for a fact it's for a purpose. Like, we know that the building blocks that we put here and the steps that we take in, like Shinar was saying, is gonna lead somewhere. This ain't just work well.
Every step leads to the next step.
Amen.
So, yeah, that's amazing. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
So the next question I did have, and again, this is to be like my final question, unless you got like another one.
I just had them too. They just kind of snuck up on me, and I was like, "Oh, okay questions." Like,
Well, okay, I do have two. So the first question I want to ask is, you shoot your show on Radio Indie. How did you find Radio Indie?
They found me. Yes. Okay, so let me just tell you. Okay, so actually I just moved back to Indianapolis in August due to my grandmother passing away. But before then I was living in New York for over a year. And for that year...
Let's talk about that. What's living in New York?
Oh gosh. Well, let me finish saying this.
Okay.
So for that year, I just started like, okay, so love to motivate. I love to inspire, and the words that just, you know, resonated me, I just love to push it out. You know what I'm saying? I love what God lays on my heart that I could tell the people, you know. So like I just started doing live videos on Facebook, you know, and not knowing that Miss Kim, shout out to her, owner of Radio W.a.v.E, she was looking at me all the while, and when I moved back, she decided to message me on Facebook, and she was like, I've been watching you, I would love for you to join my radio station with your podcast, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, what? I've been wanting to podcast. Oh my God, okay. And all of this came about from me doing Facebook Live videos. You know what I'm saying? You never know. I always say this, and I'm a firm believer of this, you never know who is watching you. So if anybody's out there watching me, my Facebook is Shinar S. Martin, SHINAR S. Martin, MARTIN, and my Instagram is at Shinar_the bottle. I just had to put that right there. You never know who's watching.
Right.
But yes, so that's how that came about, and I'm just thankful. So I've been doing that since like November. I've been doing my podcast, and it's moving. I am proud to say, I'm very humble, but I'm proud to say, like, since I've been on there, which other people have been on there, my show has been #1. So I'm happy. I get a lot of people that follow and listen, and I'm just looking forward to it expanding and growing. Like how I met y'all, you know, and we doing stuff together and everything like that. So that's dope. Now the New York question. Oh my God. New York was definitely an experience.
Yeah.
It was an experience. It's New York. Like, you know,
the city itself. Would
yes.
you say it's a good or bad experience, the city?
It's a good experience. It's just the experiences within those experiences. Like, yeah. It was just a lot. It's definitely, especially when you're coming from Indianapolis. Like, we're called Nap Town because we sleep. You know, everything's behind here.
Yeah.
And then here you go, move to New York City, the big,
that's right.
the big, like that's, whoa, you know what I'm saying? You got subway, trains, and buses, and everybody doing this.
Literally everybody.
Yeah, like, you know, people walking. I'm like, oh, I can't even walk. I can't wear my heels. I ain't about to be walking and running to the dang on bus stop.
That's one of the most visited cities
Just
like,
people
in the world.
everywhere.
People are
Yeah.
constantly traveling to New York, in and out. All
But
day.
it's the opportunities are endless. The culture, that is the #1 thing that I can truly say that I love about New York. That's the top of the line. The culture. When I tell y'all, I have never in my life seen a Chinese or a Japanese girl have a big booty, thick thighs, and some weight on her Well, honey, I seen it in New York plenty of times.
Damn.
And that's what I wanted to say.
I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it. Besides, like, I think Lovely Nene. But
that's what I would know. That's her. She bought that.
Yeah.
These people been eating ling ling and ming ming,
Yeah.
whatever the hell they've been eating.
Shoot.
Like with some side of cornbread. Shoot, it was serious, but the culture, like everybody's there. The Trinidadians, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, the blacks, the Caucasians, everybody's there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God, this is the globe. Like to me, like New York equals the globe. Like honestly, that's
all
how I feel.
diversity. And
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to New York. Always. Honestly, when 9/11 happened, I was like, okay, I don't think I can live there. Just because New York is such a big city that when it comes to attacks or natural disasters, I think I would personally feel more comfortable living somewhere smaller. But that's the only reason why I'm like, I don't think I can live there. But I've always wanted to go. New York Fashion Week, always wanted to go.
Yeah.
I want to go strictly so I could walk up to somebody and be like, "Hey, yo, son, what's up, B?" Like just
don't do that.
just literally so I could do that. Like
No,
just so I can say son or B.
Don't do that. They are so they rude.
They aggressive.
They are very aggressive and they don't look at them. Like you know how hi, how are you?
Yeah.
They will look at you like, what are you saying hi to me for? Like, yeah, so
I've heard
it's different. You have to definitely find your groove and get in their groove. Like, so I will say when I came back, I noticed that it kind of made me a little bit more edgier, a little bit more tougher, and which is a good thing. Kind of, pushed a little kind of naive side out where I could, see stuff and just, be straight, like, But yeah, so other than that, New York was New York, it was great. I did some things there with fashion and modeling and stuff. It was great.
Do you see yourself going back?
No. Not to live. Not to live.
Where do you see yourself? Like, do you still see yourself?
I see myself down south.
Okay,
See,
same
that's
with us. Yep.
Yeah.
The Southern hospitality is something.
Texas, or I tried Atlanta before, and I was there for 2 months, but I was young and I was scared, and it was just but now either Texas or Atlanta.
Yeah.
I would
So
say.
that's where we're moving. When our lease is up,
We're trying to go to Georgia.
we hitting Georgia.
Really?
We hitting
When y'all lease up?
February 2021.
What?
We got a year.
Okay, so
So-
y'all got a year to play. Y'all can do it.
We headed straight down to Jonesboro. Hey, grandma. Hey,
Hey,
TT.
y'all.
Hey!
We headed straight down there.
That's what's
Right?
I
up.
felt like Georgia was just.
So peaceful.
I
It
was
just, it was
that's
so
where I'm supposed
nice.
to be,
Like,
but-
it just felt
Yeah.
just so welcoming. Like, somebody randomly on the street. Like, I remember I was like, hey, I like little, like $1 short for something. It was like, you got $1? Oh, yeah, bro, you need 2? Do I need 2?
It's
what?
No, it is. It's the hospitality, the food. The food is great.
Okay.
Food is amazing.
The food is amazing. It's amazing.
What was it, dude? It wasn't Yummy Crab. Where was that place that Nani took us to that had the bibs?
I don't know. It was a crab.
It was a crab place. And oh my goodness, just a simple bite of just like cracking open and just.
Oh man.
But there's like so many crab places here now. So I mean,
But it's never
Right.
gonna be nothing like that.
Right.
So.
Nothing
Like
good.
never. Like I ain't gonna lie, it's good. They're doing Indianapolis. Okay, all right. You're trying to wake up.
Right. Right.
Set the alarm again. But it's down south. Is down south. That was a little corny. Down south is the real deal.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, that was the interview portion of the Wei'S World podcast. Now we're about to get into some articles. The first thing that we're gonna talk about is this man a boy or is this boy a man?
Which one is it?
Which one is it?
We're not discussing.
We'll be right back here on the Wei'S World Podcast. So the next thing we're gonna talk about, right? So first, let's get the sensitive part of it out the way. There was apparently a 9-year-old in Australia, by the name of Quaden Boyles.
Yep. BAYLES.
BAYLES. Quaden BAYLES. Sorry about that. I'm thinking of Susan Boyle. Quaden
What do you know
BAYLES.
about Susan Boyle?
A little bit, just like a small
Okay.
amount. But Quaden BAYLES. So a video went viral of the 9-year-old saying that he wanted to rope, he wanted to kill himself, he was tired of bullying, he was just ready to die.
I don't think he said he wanted to rope.
Yes, he did.
He
did?
He did.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So, it took the internet, it took Al Gore's internet less than 24 motherfucking hours. It took, matter of fact, hold on. I got the busy. I did do my, matter of fact, I'm gonna do this real quick. If y'all are listening, make sure y'all got y'all favorite drink, y'all got something to eat. Y'all rolled y'all up one. We getting on with this motherfucking show.
You did miss that.
I did. I missed it heavy, right? Look, I gotta spark the beezy for this one because this one, the Al Gore's internet took less than 24 hours to call out what may honestly be a 9-year-old. There's been videos going around, there's been pictures going around of somebody that looks, or maybe, said 9-year-old with money, with guns, apparently said nigga in one video, and just a whole lot of mess of shit going around this. So as we normally do, my beautiful wife has an article pulled up, she gonna read y'all a little bit about it, and then we're gonna go ahead and do our little discussion.
Okay, so like you pretty much gave most of the information about the little boy, but there's a 9-year-old and he has dwarfism. So I was on Twitter and somebody was like, y'all getting scammed because this little boy is not 9, he's 18, and he's got this GoFundMe that had like 500 grand or so earned. And he's like, all y'all got scammed. But I can't find any truth in that. Like, I've been trying to find it for like days now. Apparently there is this Instagram page with Quaden, and he's like throwing up the middle finger. He's like dressed in Gucci, he's wearing Balenciaga in one of the outfits, and posing with all this money. But where I stopped looking is because I came across a video of this little boy, 18 or not, saying nigga, and that's where I was like, I'm not looking no further into this because I'm offended now. But I haven't been able to find anything, y'all. I don't know if it's true that he's 18. I don't know if it's true that he's 9. Like, I don't really know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think?
That's what makes this whole subject a very, very sensitive subject. Because if this really is a 9-year-old, y'all are horrible people. If this really is like a 9-year-old who was really feeling something about himself, everybody that had made a meme, that had called him 18, that had said he said this or this, let that actually be a completely different person with dwarfism and not Quaden. The internet needs to shame its fucking self for that shit because that is horrible. Like, the thing is, I felt like when I first saw it, like I felt so bad because again, like from somebody that dealt with bullying growing up until I hit 6 foot and was able to tower over people. I understand where he like. No, hold on. What I'm saying. I mean, as far as being bullied. Yes,
okay, well, as far as bullying,
Let me catch myself.
I'm like, there's a little bit. Okay.
As far as being bullied, I understand where he's coming from. Again, going to school or having to deal with that on a day-to-day basis.
Kids are horrible.
Kids are fucking horrible, and y'all have been horrible forever. But yeah, just dealing with that on like a day-to-day basis, like it's just a fucked up thing. And if that's the case, I don't want to sit over here on my platform and be like, oh, this little boy is actually 18 and he's saying this, or that. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, so every day I'm trying to figure out whether or not he's 9 or 18. And the moment we get like a definite answer on whether or not what age he really is. Trust me, we'll be doing an update. But I want to kind of just get y'all, like I said, y'all opinions on what's been going on.
I feel like, who said he was 9? And second off, if he wasn't 18, then why would somebody say he was 18? So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's been plenty of bullied kids videos that have went viral, and nobody came out and said, well, he's actually, or he's, you know, or something else, you know what I'm saying, of the sort or whatever. And then you find all these pictures, and he's throwing up, you know, hand gestures and things like that. Now, I'm not going to, is that him?
This is him at 4.
Okay, so to be honest, we will never even know because he's a dwarf. Like, I mean, like, we literally will never really know until somebody actually wants to come out and
show us that birth certificate.
Yeah, that to show us. And yes, it is sad if he really is 9, but it's also sad that if he is 18, that whoever the lady that is, you know, posing to be his mother, and put the video, because I did see the video of him saying the nigga stuff and all of that, and you know, saying all those kind of crazy stuff. I don't feel like, okay, so what if he's wearing name brand? It's a lot of people that wears name brand, whatever the age is. But the thing of the tricking the, you know, the world and getting money, you know, that's, yeah.
It's a scam, but I mean, the world is full of scammers. There's currently a guy that's like a midget, and he's a comedian, but he like gets on buses and they like act like he's a kid. They be throwing his toys off the bus, throwing him off the bus, and catching people's reaction of it for like YouTube. But I mean, that's what they do. And I've seen him in a mall before. Somebody threw some toys or something on the escalator. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, a little boy!" And then when everybody comes around and he like takes his hood off, it's a grown man. He's just small. But that's kind of where my mind went with this situation. Like, okay, I know that there's this guy doing this, so who's to say that they're not on the same thing?
Yeah.
But I mean,
but also like another thing that I really wanted to kind of figure out was who's asking for this money. I don't have anybody gotten to the source of who.
Right. There's everybody's saying this. And nobody has the source.
So,
like
who started asking for this
but
money?
There are celebrities that have created GoFundMe pages. I remember I saw something about a comedian or something. Mm-hmm. He had posted something about the little boy and said, "Hey, I've set up this GoFundMe account." So there may be people setting up the accounts for him because of the video that they've seen. Right. Which, I mean, but again, anybody can set up a GoFundMe.
You can for anything.
And because of social media, because of, let's look at the thing right here. Anybody can get anybody's pictures and make, you know, an account of something. So that's the thing. We will never have the root of all evil. Like, we will not have the root of what it really is. So it's, you know.
Look, I haven't donated anything.
I just about to say that to me. I was just about to say, I ain't donated $5, so you know.
I haven't.
But look, in this generation, what I really do want to say, if this is a hoax, flipping on the other side of my previous statement, if this is a hoax, what I really want to say is this generation's biggest curse is money and clout.
And clout and like / empathy. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so many sick kid GoFundMes. And those kids aren't even sick. Yep. Or on the same spectrum, there's sick kids GoFundMe, and then their fucking parents are actually making them sick or some shit.
Well, like
that movie.
Yeah,
that's happening too.
Which, by the way, like I know the movie.
And there's a new movie with Sarah Paulson coming out.
That happens quite a bit. Like again, and not even just this generation. People as a whole. The root of evil when it comes to people, when I say money is the root of evil, that is
people do anything.
People will do anything just to get $1. And the crazy thing is we as people make the dollar what it's worth. Like, this may sound like a big idea, but if tomorrow everybody said that $1 wasn't worth $1, it wouldn't be worth $1. You get what I mean? Like we make the money what it's worth. We make the change what it's worth. We could take a penny and be like, nah, this is worth $1 now as a whole country. And what they gonna do? They gonna make us be like, nah, that's a penny though. You get what I'm saying? Like.
But look at this stuff like this happens everywhere too, not just with like people that actually have conditions like dwarfism or something sick. Like look at the whole Jussie Smollett situation. We still don't have the real story as far as what happened.
He went to jail and everything.
Definitely.
Like I don't know. Like social media is a curse and it
can help you.
It can help you.
You know?
Which side are you on?
Like, you see it, all three of us, we trying to use social media to help.
Which is crazy because we talked about that the other day. I follow a photographer, her name is Jessica Whitaker, and I think she's New York based actually. She basically, I watch her YouTube all the time, and in one of her videos she was asked like, how do you balance with you know, like you're obviously a photographer, so you have to use social media to post your work. How does that not distract you at all? You know, with everything that goes on social media, how do you not get sidetracked? And she was like, look, I use my shit for business purposes only. Right. My Instagram is open from 9 to 5, just like my business hours are. I don't do social media after 5 o'clock. And I was like, wow, that's deep. Like, I don't have that self-control to delete it off my phone and not, you know, like, I was like, damn, that's deep.
That's because the internet and social media had
social
media will grab you like
literally.
One of the me and Shanice watch cartoons all the time. One of our favorite cartoons is The Amazing World of Gumball. It's a particular episode of that show called, I think it's called The Internet.
I don't know what the episode's called.
But basically, like, they start watching like one video on like Elmer Plus, like which is their version of YouTube or like Facebook or something like that. So they watch one video, and then they watch another one, and then it goes like
gradually get dragged, and they're on the computer for hours. Like, the sun has gone down, and the little brother is always like, don't click on another video because we're gonna let's stop right now, because if we click another video, we're gonna get dragged right into it. And then they try to walk away from the computer and they get a notification, and there's like a magnet. It seems like there's a magnet or something, because it pulls them right back. Just that one notification pulls them right back to the computer. And I'm like, it be like that. Like, as soon as I be like, I'm gonna log off, Facebook will be like, you got a notification. I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? You know, like, what's going on? I gotta know. I have to know. And it's not, you know, like it shouldn't be that deep, but that's how it ends up being, both a curse, because you can't get off of it. You can't not look at it.
As a people, we've gotten so damn nosy.
Right.
We've gotten so damn nosy. Like, oh wait, what's they doing? What's going on here?
Did you see what happened?
All right. You see these two celebrities getting into it? Just because apparently
everybody just want to be in everybody motherfucking business.
Everybody business.
And sometimes your business ain't together. Sometimes you got to get your own shit together before you start digging into other people's business. Again, say the word right there.
As long as you have social media, you're gonna be in somebody's business.
You get me?
I don't care what nobody say. Oh God. Well, social media.
It's inevitable, but it is. It's good and bad.
It just depends on how you decide to do it. And if you're a social media influencer, I hope that you use your powers for good.
Please.
Something that, again, I've told Shanice on multiple occasions. I don't personally like social media influencers just because of the power that they hold. They can literally shift somebody's whole business based on one or two posts. They can take you from one of the most profitable businesses to barely making it just simply off a post. I don't feel like one or two people are like the social media influencers on Instagram or wherever should have that power.
But it also depends on what they're saying. Like, if it's one or two people, but they're saying like some deep, like it's some racist shit going on, or it's some scam or some fraudulent shit going on, I think that everybody would need to know that information. So I'd kind of be like, okay, shout out to you for exposing what needed to be put out there. But I also understand where you're coming from.
But that's going to close out this topic, talking about Quaden, talking about
18,
18 or 9,
You never know.
talking about social media influencers and everything else. We'll be right back here after this ad break from our sponsor, the Anchor app. How's everybody doing? It's your boy Way, host of the Wei's World podcast.
And your girl Shanny the Shooter, co-host of the Wei's World podcast.
You can catch the Wei's World podcast every Monday through Wednesday by at least 3 p.m. on one of those days on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere that you get your local podcasts, and now
YouTube. Yeah.
We want to say thank you all for listening to the Wei's World podcast and stay tuned for much more because officially every episode from season 2 of the Wei's World podcast and every episode of season 2 of the Wei's World Drunkcast will now be on YouTube. So once again, thank you all so much for listening and stay tuned. So we're back here after that. Y'all, sometimes I cannot fucking talk. We are back here after the ad break from our wonderful sponsor who's been sponsoring us over these past 6 months, the first 6 months of the Wei's World podcast, the Anchor app. We, due to time constraints, what we're going to go ahead and do here, we're going to skip over Steven Spielberg's daughter.
But she's doing porn. That's
the long story
That
short.
was the story.
She fucking. She's out here fucking.
And we did confirm she's adopted because when Wayman told me the story and he showed me a picture of her, I said, okay, this little girl is biracial. I know Steven Spielberg is white. Is she adopted or is his wife? I thought maybe his wife was black.
His wife was white.
But then we found his wife and we were like, okay.
That is a white woman in America.
And that's, so yes, we found she's adopted and she is getting ready to start doing her own solo porn films. And she's 23 years old.
She grown, so she can do what she wants. It's just
watch out, world! I'm grown now.
I'm grown. So what we're gonna do? One gotta go. Pies. I got 4 pies. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pick one by one what pie we want to stay. As y'all know, the last pie left is the one that gotta go. You understand the rules?
Yes.
So, the 4 pies are apple pie, cheesecake, sweet potato pie, and key lime pie.
Did y'all know cheesecake was a pie? Because it's called cheesecake, so I considered it a cake.
And again, I've told y'all this before.
Will not let me live it down.
Look, cheesecake is made the same as a pie. You put the crust, you put the filling.
It's a pie.
It's made the exact same way you make a pie.
Okay, alright.
So the first one that absolutely has to stay for me is going to be cheesecake. Plain and simple, it is the best dessert to ever be made.
I love the cheesecake.
I love every type of cheesecake.
Stays.
Cheesecake stays.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So the next one for me that's going to go ahead and stay is going to be apple pie.
Okay.
What's your next one to stay? You got apple pie, sweet potato pie, and key lime.
Sweet potato pie.
Little explanation. Why sweet potato pie?
I mean,
she don't really like sweets, by the way.
I know,
so it's gotten a little difficult for her.
I know, this is a hard game for me.
Sweet potato pie? Like,
yeah.
I feel like, I feel like you only really get that during
It's
the holidays.
really good with ice cream.
It's fire with ice cream.
I've never had sweet potato pie with ice cream.
Yeah, it's really good with ice cream. So I guess that's probably it.
Sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie.
Our games are always the same because we're the same. I'm keeping apple pie in because out of all the pies,
something about a warm slice of apple pie
like
with some ice cream.
Fruit-wise, pies with
just-
fruit in them, apple is
It's
the
heat.
best one. Apple pie.
Fire.
Oh my gosh. Like,
Forget-
first of all, warm apples, period, I'm a fan of. So, like,
Forget
when
the
you go,
stigma
like,
about it being American. It's just good.
Right.
Like, it's just good as
apple
hell.
pie is the best pie that could have been ever invented.
Besides cheesecake.
Well,
I'm not gonna let you live.
okay,
that.
so what's the next pie that you're keeping in?
So this one would be the one that gotta go because the next pie is the It's pretty much what's going to stay. So
Yeah.
And so if I have to, the one that gotta go for me is gonna be key lime pie. I've had key lime pie before. It tasted good. I thought it was cheesecake. I had a placebo effect done on me. Where Shanice, so if y'all don't know, basically what Shanice did was she brought home a slice of key lime pie. From the moment she got it to when we got in the house and I took that first bite, Shanice was like, "That's cheesecake. That's cheesecake. That's
Okay,
cheesecake."
see, look at this. Look
Wait,
at this.
That's what she did
Look
though.
at this,
I'm not
blasphemy.
I'm not bullshitting. That's what she
Look at
did.
this.
When she picked up the pie, she was like, "Oh, thanks for the cheesecake." Like she pulled an Office moment on me. If y'all watched The Office, when Jim was telling Dwight that it was Saturday and it was really like supposed to be Friday, that's what she did to me. She was like, "It's cheesecake," but in my mind, I know it's really key lime pie. So I get home, I get the fork, put the plate down, get my napkins. I'm prepared for this slice of cheesecake from her grandmother. I take the first bite. I'm like, "This is fire." Eat the whole thing.
Oh.
Eat the whole thing, right? Shanice was like, "You like that, didn't you?" I was like, "Yeah, it's cheesecake. I love cheesecake." She was like, "No, it wasn't. That was key lime pie." I looked at her so fast, like, "What did you do to me?"
I did not do anything, sir.
Your mom.
My grandmother
That's what I'm saying.
sent us home with a piece of cheese or a couple pieces of cheesecake and one slice of key lime pie. Because I told her that you didn't like key lime pie, so she only sent us with the one. Because occasionally, I fuck with key lime pie. Occasionally. It's kind of tart, but like, occasionally I fuck with it. So she put a small little piece of key lime pie on that plate with our 2 slices of cheesecake. I think you just may have eaten them close, because they were close on the plate. I think you may have just thought that the key lime pie was cheesecake. I didn't tell you like, "Oh, all this is cheesecake." I did let you know there's a piece of key lime pie on here, but it also wasn't color. You know, like I see pictures of key lime pie and it's kind of like lime. Hers was not.
It wasn't like
It was. It was not.
It was actually. I'm not gonna stun and say that it wasn't fire. It was good as hell, but
I think you just kind of ate your piece of cheesecake and kind of ate a little piece of that and was like, "Oh, wait a minute, this is good." You know, like you ended up eating everything. And when I got back to the house and I saw the plate and both pieces were gone, I'm like, "Did you eat that?" And he was like, "Yeah, that cheesecake in the fridge." I was like, "Yeah, one was cheesecake, but the other was key lime pie." And he was like, you
lied to me,
you trickster." And I'm like,
"Why would you do that to me?"
So why do you feel like key lime pie has to go?
Because over sweet potato pie, I'm sorry. Again, my family, it's a family tradition that somebody makes a sweet potato pie at Thanksgiving, and it's always sweet potato pie with some cinnamon, ice cream. It's an experience. It's a whole experience. So yes, I've had key lime pie one time in my life.
You have that sweet potato pie? You like it?
That's cool.
I think the patty pie is okay.
I'm not. I mean, I think sweet potato pie is good, but it's not like, I don't know. Like I'm not like, "Ooh, sweet potato pie."
Definitely gotta see anything out of it. We had a patty pie for was it Christmas or Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
It was for Thanksgiving. We had a patty pie, and that again.
I usually buy one every year.
It may have been just that one. I've had it.
They just have them around that time.
I think.
They don't have them.
You're right.
I haven't seen them.
I didn't think they were.
But we also are looking for patty pies.
Hey, right. I'm not really checking for them. I just happened to walk by and I was like, "I'm gonna just grab one of these for dessert." And I think I ended up getting. I don't even think we ate it till like after Thanksgiving.
We didn't. So, you up next? You got apple pie and you got key lime pie.
Apple pie can go.
Not apple pie with some ice cream. Woo! Like, can you like just
That's the hand fans for the apple pie with ice cream?
literally fan
That's
stuff
just
because
delicious. Absolutely delicious.
McDonald's apple pies. Now they changed their apple pies, and now it's like weird looking. But I feel like it's less I feel like it's less sugary.
I haven't enjoyed a McDonald's apple pie since 2012.
Well, the original
like
apple pies are lame, and like when they're fresh, lame.
Again, I got one on a drunk night after graduation, and yeah, literally right after I graduated, we went to McDonald's, and that apple pie made everything that I had that night like come up. But also, I was like drunk as fuck, so I'm going to blame the pie and not the liquor. You know, I'm going to blame the pie, not the liquor. So yeah, it's on you. I know, but you didn't you? A matter of fact, no, yeah, it's on you. You got
mine are sweet potato and key lime,
Yep.
and I'm just gonna say key lime can go because I'm not really a fan. Like occasionally, you know, I've had some key lime pie, like my grandmother's key lime pie that I can eat, but any other key lime pie I had, it was really tart, and I'm like, I can't get with this.
Well, that was our one gotta go. Stay tuned for the Wei'S World Drugcast that'll be coming out the Wednesday after this. This will be dropped this coming up Tuesday, and then the Wei'S World Drugcast will be coming out Wednesday. And hopefully by the time you've seen this, you have also seen Talking Sports with Wayne and Crony. We're gonna get into a little bit more of that with this young outro. Thank you all so much for watching the Wei'S World Podcast, and we'll be right back with you. And we are back with this young outro.
The outro.
On today's donkey, the things that we talked about today, we interviewed Miss Shinar S. We also talked about Quaden BAYLES. I almost said boils again. Please excuse me. And then we did a one gotta go for pies. I just found out that she'd rather keep key lime pie than apple pie. That hurt my heart.
Apple pie, though? What did it ever do to you besides be delicious?
It stung a little bit, but any final thoughts on anything that we talked about today?
Bills is either 9 or 18.
And kids are horrible, so maybe we should just, as a society, have conversations, have better conversations with your kids, because y'all kids be bullying people like Quaden, even if he is 18.
Bullying adults.
Right, and talking crazy to adults. Talking crazy to teachers.
You touched on something.
Shit.
Kids be out here hoeing adults, and I'm trying to figure out, you're the adult. How are you getting bullied by this person that's literally like...
Maybe holding the parents. I just seen the video
Shut the fuck
on
up,
Facebook.
Susan.
It was a son and his sister, and they was like, our mom's been yelling at us for like hours now, blah, blah. And the sister came up and she was like, but she has saggy panties. And they turned the camera, and the mom has their youngest sibling, who's a baby, and she's like yelling at the kids, like, y'all need to keep y'all room clean, and I'm tired of coming home and doing all this. And she walks across the hallway, and her panties are saggy in the back, and I was like, oh, it'd be your own kids, like, damn. They caught the mama at her not so best time, but damn, she got 3 of y'all, and clearly y'all two are giving her some problems while she's trying to take care of this baby. And so, get your kids in check and get on them because they're bullies.
Get y'all shit together. But this was episode 5. I don't know if she knows how to say it in French. She doesn't. Wait. Cinq. Yes.
I told you I could count.
Yes,
French.
Cinq.
I just don't really know anything else.
As usual, you can find me on Instagram at how_way_how or at Wei'S World 93. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like the Wei'S World Podcast YouTube page. Also, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and every place else that you get your local podcasts.
Me?
One of y'all next.
Go ahead. Where can they find you?
So who dropping tags?
Okay. I was so excited. This was so fun.
Yes.
Again, my name is Shinar Martin. Shinar S. Martin on Facebook. That is SHINAR space S. Martin. MARTIN on my Facebook. Instagram is at Shinar_the model. Also, you guys can find me on Radio Wave. Tune in every Wednesday at 12 o'clock. plus size talk with your girl Shinar.
Yes, let them know.
And please be on the lookout for the Shinar tour, which that sums up everything that I do in between concerning just plus size community, confidence coach, and speaking.
Yes.
So just be on the lookout for that. Yes.
And you know me, I'm your girl Shanice. You can find me on Instagram at SHANNY the SHOOTA. You can follow my photography page on Facebook at SHANNY the SHOOTA, but the is TH and the number 3, because I couldn't have SHANNY the SHOOTA. So Facebook, Instagram, you know where to find me.
Now, she brought up something very important before we go. I got one more thing I got to drop on y'all. It's the winter time, so right now I'm not going to start this off yet, but please stay in mind, and I want y'all on YouTube to peep this too, and for those that listen on the listening platforms, peep what I'm saying. The beginning of March or the beginning of April, the WA.v.E World Smokeout Tour is going to start. Every single person that I tagged in that original post, your time is coming. I promised y'all that in 2020, I was going on a tour to bust lungs. I have not forgotten. I am not playing. I'm going one by one to all of my friends, and y'all are going to understand why I've crowned myself King Smoke. I had to throw that out there before we close this out. Thank y'all so much for watching. This is the WA.v.E World Podcast. Stay tuned for the WA.v.E World Drunkcast and all programming that goes on the WA.v.E World. And y'all have yourself a good day or night, depending on when you're watching
And
this.
don't forget, the smoke source, he has to start here. So
I've already busted her wrong.
it's okay. It's okay.
I've already won that one. Thank y'all so much for watching. Bye.